Alright, what is up YouTube? HPJ here, and I'm coming at you guys today because we're going to be talking about the free agent cards for Blazing Vortex TCG. So the video information was dropped today, and we are going to be taking a nice look at a lot of the stuff that is coming from uh, the information dropped today. Sorry if my words are all mixed up. I'm looking forward to this because I was really trying to see exactly what the rarity of cards were going to be, especially for a particular hand feel, which are going to be talked about today, as well as some new cards that have also been announced. So, we got some name changes, we've got some rarity changes, and we have a whole lot of stuff just going around. So, why don't we go ahead and take a look at it? So, there will be links to the actual video where this information was dropped, in the link, because I'm not gonna try to do too many links, and also because some YouTubers can be very stingy. So, first card up is this one. This is Psychic Eraser Laser. It is a normal spell card. You can send one monster from your opponent's side of the field. No, such something from their extra deck to the graveyard. Then your opponent will gain life points equal to the original attack or defense of that monster, whichever one is higher. And you can only activate one Psychic Eraser Laser per turn. Also, shout outs to whoever forgot to put the laser part there. Next up is Underdog Secret Rare. Continue to trap card during your opponent's turn. You can negate all face-up monsters your opponent controls. Then during your opponent's turn, all face-up monsters you control are negated. Then we have the next lineup of monsters. These are already confirmed to be in the set, but their names have changed as well as the look of these cards. So first off is Heavenly Zephyra Miradora, who was originally known as Miradora Skywing of the Whirlwinds, who is now confirmed as secret. We have Underworld Goddess of the Closing World. She is now confirmed secret. And then we have Pot of Prosperity, which we were all looking to see if this card's name was going to actually be changed, and it did. It was originally Pot of Disparity, now it's Pot of Prosperity. And it's also going to be a secret rare. Did I say Pot of Prosperity? No. Yeah, Prosperity. Okay. And then we have the Angel Statue, Zurane, which is apparently a super. This looks common. This looks very common. So, yeah. That's pretty much just the handful of the free agent cards that were announced. For the most part, when you look at a lot of the free agent stuff, it is basically just miscellaneous stuff that you can fit in practically any deck or into decks to give them additional support. The Psychic Eraser Laser, this just seems like one of those contributions to burn. You just take the card itself, take the card, split bad reactions to Samachi, or play Nurse Reficule, and then have, instead of your opponent getting the life points, they would take it as damage. So that's literally what this card is. It's just burn. It's kind of also in the same way, similar to Soul Taker, where Soul Taker you would send the monster to the graveyard, and then your opponent would gain life points. Thing about it is that this only requires the monster to be special summoned from the extra deck. And in some cases, when you look at Soul Taker, it was actually a lot better because it sent the cards to the graveyard. You didn't really have to worry about where the monster came from, where it was normal summon, special summon, flip summon, all of that. As long as it was on the field, you could send it to the graveyard, and your opponent would gain life points. It was an easy way to get rid of a monster. And at that point, life points really didn't matter because you were making tons of monsters to hurt your opponent's life points anyway. So I kind of look at this card as a really meh type of card. So, it kind of is where it is. Next up is Underdog. Now, this is a card particularly just similar to Skill Drain, where it's going to negate every monster's effect on the field. The only thing is that during your turn, your opponent's monsters are negated. But during your opponent's turn, your monsters are negated. And it's pretty much just what's on the field, just like Skill Drain. Now, this can be very beneficial because of the fact that there are, skill drain decks that have not pretty much existed because skill drain has been limited. Now, am I saying those decks are good? Not, honestly, nope. The only real thing about it is that this card is only coming out because there's a bit of a standstill that you can stop your opponent's big board of monsters. Whereas your opponent's gonna you have to find a way to get rid of this card by the end phase of your turn. Because then all your monsters and stuff will go off. Especially considering the fact all your stuff's gonna be gated during your turn. So this is a bit of a back and forth type of card. Which kind of makes it fair than skill drain because your opponent could use skill drain to their advantage as well as you using it to your advantage. Then I've already gone over Miradora, but it is nice to see that we did get a confirmation of it being secret. I really don't have I don't have anything negative to say about this card. I've already talked about this monster enough. But the change of its name, going to Heavenly Zephyr instead of Skywing of the Whirlwind. I think that's a really cool name switch up, because wouldn't you want to be called Heavenly Zephyr? Because that's pretty much just praising you as the hierarchy of wind, if anything, and the fact that they went for it is perfectly fine with me. I also think that the other monsters that will follow this same trend will come out somewhat similar as well. So maybe that's how they're going to piece together the Dragons of series, if that's any indication. Really good with Windex, because you'll see this with a lot of dragons, if anything. And Tempest loves this card because it's the same level, same type of attribute. You can easily drop this card in conjunction with Tempest. Tempest can search for it. So, yeah, there are those things there. Then we move on to this lovely lady, the Underworld Goddess of the Closed World. Now, I don't know how she's supposed to interact with cards. People have been talking about her in terms of IP Masquerena. She is supposed to be a very good addition to extra decks. Now, I don't really know her effects, so why don't we go ahead and click on her just to see what she does. So, she's a Link 5 light attribute fiend type monster. Oh, she's gonna be great with what was it? Evil Twin and with the twins. 4+ effect monsters. You can also use one monster when your opponent controls as material to link summon this card. If this card is link summoned, you can negate the effects of all monsters your opponent controls. Currently controls. The link summon card is unaffected by your opponent's card effects unless they target this card. Once a turn, when your opponent activates a card or an effect that's also summons a monster or monsters from the graveyard, quick effect, you can negate the activation. So, 3K, Link 5, Lolly S monster. I think she'll be really, really good. I know a lot of people have been talking about her. I know primarily Evil Twin, Live Twin decks have been talking. Well, the Twin decks players have been talking about her. The other thing people have been talking about is her and IP Masquerena, because I think people are trying to figure out how that's going to work under the ruling of IP. And I think that's because of how IP's effect is, to where IP can send cards to the graveyard during your opponent's turn as a quick effect to link summon. So, yeah. Can't wait to see how TCG rules that. And then, of course, next is everyone's favorite card series, Pot of. And Pot of Prosperity, which was known as Disparity in the OCG. I actually am enlightened by the name change because Pot of Prosperity fits it a little more. The pots that make this card, Pot of Riches and Pot of Generosity, it's always a big oxymoron when it comes to the pot of cards because they're all supposed to contradict a lot of things or give meaning to things that are virtues of man. Now, while I get philosophical with this before I talk about rarity change, with a lot of the other names that I've heard of cards from a lot of the pot cards in the OCG. I actually like this one the most, just because of what prosperity can be. And that I didn't really find too much of the term of disparity because you have riches and you have generosity. And you can be rich and give. And that can be very prosperable. And I think in terms of just the lore of what the pot cards are, and how, when they got broken and shattered, the pieces were put together and it made these newer pots, which in terms have been, a lot of them have been more beneficial than some of the others in terms of gameplay. So, um, I'm not looking down at this card at all, and I am very excited for this card. Now, the only problem I have is that, of course, it is a secret rare. So, give it a couple of reprints, and it'll be a super, or it'll be multiple secrets running around. Outside of that, this is a very good card for many decks that, if you don't want to run Pot of Extravagance, this is the card that is suggested to you to run, because it is legitimately a better pot of extravagance, because you can pick what 3 or 6 cards you're banishing. You can't draw, and the damage that your opponent takes is halved. Fine. Okay with that. Yeah, you can't draw outside of this card's other card effects after this card is activated. You half all the damage your opponent takes as both battle and effect. But you get to look at the top number of cards based on what you've excavated, and then you get to pick from those cards and add to your hand, which makes it a lot better than just drawing, because with searching is a lot more beneficial because you know exactly what cards to get. Where this is going to help you make sure you don't break into a brick card. Like, you can just pick up another piece and then shuffle your deck around to where you don't have to draw into that sequential card. So, yeah, I'm loving the Pot of Prosperity. And then the other card, of course, is the Angel Statue. If you're playing, this is a really weird thing because this could be great for Paleozoic. This could be great for a lot of various trap decks. And I do love the artwork because it gives me remnants of Appaloosa, the goddess of the bow of the goddess, which may be an akin to this. I know there's another version of this statue, if I'm not mistaken. There's like a fallen angel or a devil version of this. So, or it could be eventually one. I could be mistaken. But I think this is going to be a very beneficial card. Very useful card. Just depends on where you put it. That's the only thing. Other than that, I think overall the free agent showcase was an amazing feat. I am very excited about some, not all. I want to say 1, 2, 3, 4, possibly 5. So 5 out of 6 isn't too bad. The only thing that I do want to also address is, where is Crossout Designator? Will we be getting it in the TCG version, or will we receive this in the structure deck for Trishula? Will this be in the Ice Spirit structure deck? Which, to the right, at the time of this recording, we have heard nothing of that structure deck. So, there's a lot of pieces that are still being put together. We're still trying to hear exactly what's going to happen. But, if Crossout Designator doesn't come in the TCG release of this set, then maybe it will be imported. Maybe it will be in the Ice Spirit structure deck. Because I believe in Japan, I don't think this card was part of any core set. No. V-Jump promo, Gold Series. Yeah, so we're going to have to wait for this. But I'm okay with it. I'm fine with it. And, it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So let me know in the comment section what you guys think about the free agent drop. The free agent showcase that was done today. What stuff you're looking forward to from Blazing Vortex. If there's anything you like to contribute, you can leave all of that in the description box below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can be informed of when I do upload more content. Social media links are in the description box below, so you guys can interact with me there. And of course, I will catch you all next time. HPJ signing out. Take care.